Grandma's kitchen.
There's a fiddle tune and a wooden spoon while she's stirring and singing. There's friends leaving or family land, and then the phone's usually ringing. No matter who you are or what you've done, everything's forgiven.
Thank God. Thank God.
Thank
God.
Grandma's kitchen. And ain't it good to be in Grandma's kitchen?
Grandma's kitchen.
Hello everybody, Mary Janet here from Tunes and Wooden Spoons, and welcome. And I'm here in my kitchen in Port Hood, Cape Breton Island, Nova Scotia, and I have no power. So a happy Easter. We just have to give it our best shot and pray that this will all work today. And thanks to our son Gordy, it's his generator and it's been keeping us going. We've had a terrific ice storm here yesterday and today and last night. Oh my gosh, the crackling of the trees and the limbs breaking and falling down were keeping some people awake. But the good news is it was Easter weekend. Kelly and Michael and Rosie were here, and they've gone back to Halifax prior to the show. And you have to look at the good things of life, because Easter is just that. It's a renewal. It's new beginnings. It's hope and a chance to, hope for peace and happiness and good health. And isn't that what we're all looking for? So happy Easter, everyone. And the most important thing today is, hey, we're going to make raisin pie. And let's fingers crossed that can work today. But so far, so good. I think it might work. And 17 plus degrees in Niagara. Caught that. Hi, Kathy. And I want to say happy Easter to Tammy and Brennan and Margie and Gordy and Kelly and Krista and all their families and all the grandchildren. And isn't it wonderful? You know, we have to count our blessings, because sometimes we can get really down, and I feel so bad for those who had hoped for a wonderful Easter weekend with their family and friends and have found out that now they're under lockdown. So I really hope that you do have hope and that it will be okay. This too shall pass. It will. Mark my words. Oh yeah, some people didn't get it. We really got the ice storm here in Port Hood. I think it was the central part of the ice storm, but it was beautiful. Our East Street, I didn't see it. Cecil was down at town, and he went down East Street, and of course it's all treed in, our street, and it was just like a canopy of icy beauty. And truly it is that. We've lost quite a few trees on our property, limbs off the trees, and then I think around 5 trees totally fell down and were broken from the weight. But now those that were draped down to the ground have lifted up, and a bit of wind has come. The limbs are all getting rid of their iciness, and they're lifting back up. So I think it's okay. We can do this. So let's start now with our raisin pie. We already had our Easter dinner yesterday evening. Even though we had no power yesterday, it came on for a little bit, but we were lucky to have the generator. And, just after we just tidied up, put the dishes in the dishwasher, power went out again. And stayed out all night, and it's still off. But I think there was actually a Nova Scotia Power guy here and thinks that maybe this evening we'll have power. But in the meantime, we're going over to Mitchell's for supper, and we're going to enjoy our evening. And we'll always find things to do. Sometimes it's pretty good to not be on electronics all the time. So let's start with our raisin pie. The recipe I posted, and the recipe is also on my website. And let's get into this right away. So we're going to make the filling first, and you're going to need, I'm going to turn it down. Okay, and I have my about a 2-liter pot, and I'm going to put 2 cups of water in here. When our power's off, we don't have any water, so we have a reserve of water that we can use. And we're also going to put 2 cups of raisins in there. But I had a bag with some currants in it, and I just want to use them up, so I'm just going to put what's left of this bag in there. And, or actually, no, I did use my currants the other day. These were a little bit of raisins. Never mind me. And fill it up to 2 cups. Oops. A little spill. No worse for wear. And because we have no water, I couldn't wash my hands, but I have my handy dandy wipes that I cleaned my hands with, just so you know. All right, so we're going to add our 2 cups of raisins to that. Now I'm going to put that and take you over to the stove in a second, but first we're going to mix up what else we need, which we're going to add to that. So we're going to have a 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar. Half a cup of packed brown sugar. And you're going to need a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Two tablespoons of cornstarch. And just a little bit of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. We're just going to mix that up. This is the easiest pie to make. And Mitchell's parents-in-law are over for the day here, and we're going there for a barbecue for supper. Mitchell has no power either, but we have the barbecue and all is well. Anyway, his father-in-law loves raisin pie, so that's where this raisin pie is going. Okay. Just try to get all the lumps out so that it's nice and smooth. That's great. Now, by the stove, I have my vanilla. I'm choosing to use vanilla. You can use lemon juice as well. The lemon juice and the butter goes in after the raisins have boiled and you've removed it from the heat. Okay. I think that's good. All right. I'm going to put this over by the stove. There now. Hi. Happy Easter, Sherry Gillis Mead. Okay. I swear I hardly have a dish clean in the house. The dishwasher is full. The sink is full. There. Hi, Anne-Marie MacArthur. Your feet are cold. There now. Do you see that cord that's coming in through the window? That's the generator. So I've got the stove plugged in and the oven works. Now my propane stove, the top works when the power is out, but you have to light the burner with a match and it comes on. But you can't use the oven because it's an electronic start and ignition, and then it reaches this temperature and it turns off. So you can't use that. However, you can use it if there's power hooked up to the electronics. Holly, hi Holly, thank you. Tina, hi. Adrian Cormier, hello from Vancouver. I have some hellos for some people. Yes. Yeah, lots of people had different things for raisin pie. I used to make pie at home. We used to make raisin pie, but didn't really make it much here. And when Mitchell's father-in-law, Mike Chesson from Reserve of Mines, came over, and he said his mom used to always make raisin pie. So I started making it again and having it when they would come over. And just he enjoys that. Oh, okay. I'm going to turn it down now. But while it's in the oven, while it's in the oven, we're going to sit at the table and we're just going to have a chat. I have no entertainment today. Yeah, just try that, Lorraine. Try the cinnamon because it's a little different. You don't have to. If you don't want to, if you don't like the taste of cinnamon, that's okay. Hi, Darlene Turple. Maureen Mitchell, hi. Okay, I better turn this down. I'll be watching your comments all the time. Hello, Peggy. Okay. There we go. So I think you can see that pretty well. I'm going to turn this on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it to a boil. And once I bring it to a boil, I'm going to then turn the timer on for 5 minutes, and we'll simmer it for 5 minutes. There now. We'll just wait for a few seconds. When it comes to a boil. Sunny Alberta. It's coming. We're getting there. Somebody used to make a raisin pie for their nanny. Thank you, Jean. Oh, she's from Shetty Camp. I missed the name. Hello from Ottawa. Hi, Kathy Wilson. Anne Boudreau. She's cooking her turkey dinner, but she's going to make the raisin pie this week. Awesome. You made the apple pie. You know what? I'm fairly cold, but the temperature, we're in the plus degrees right now. And, you know, while Rosie was here, what we did was we turned the oven on and opened the door and it heated up the kitchen area. And we closed off like the family room and just retaining that. But, how much water? It was 2 cups of water and 2 cups of raisins. Okay? Tracy Morgan. Yes, we had our Easter dinner last night, and this evening we're going to have, you know, those beef tenderloins. We have one in our freezer. Oh, they are to die for. I think anytime, I mean, I love steak barbecue, and usually in the summertime, we'll have that. But you get spoiled if you have beef tenderloin. If you get the great big beef tenderloin at Costco or whenever it's on special somewhere and cut it up into steaks, you'll never have any other kind of steak again that is that good. It's just amazing. So that's what we're having for supper. I'm excited. Thank you, Mary O'Neill. It's +5 in Dundee, but it is colder. I mean, we took a walk around the property just doing a little assessment of all the damage that was done, and that's all right. Mother Nature has her way. We just have to let it happen. Holly, is that how you make your steaks? Oh, you can't beat it. Donna DeYoung. I hope you do try it. Tracy, I know you're in lockdown there in Ontario. Hi, Michelle. Yeah. Gosh, it's been a long year, hasn't it? It's been a long year. But we've got a great group of friends here. We really do. And we'll make it through. We'll just make it through together. I'll put a little music on. I meant to put some on before. My favorite slow airs. But it hasn't started to boil yet, but I just wanted to see you. Hi, Sammy Brandy from Saskatoon. Connie Cochet, is it? Thank you. You know, it's so easy to just get. Annette Stewart, hi, from Ohio, Antigonish. It's so easy to get down, isn't it? You know, you really can just say, poor me, or whatever. But sometimes you just learn new ways of doing things, and it's okay. It's okay. We will make it through together. That's right, Michelle. My God, I heard a sound. I thought the power came back on for a second. It's slowly coming to a boil. Yeah, the raisin pie, I know. I think our culture, I don't know, the Scottish culture or whatever, but I've said this before, so many of our recipes are to do with flour and butter and molasses and raisins and rolled oats and that whole thing. There was always some of that in, it seems, and so they made use of all of that. Yeah, you have to have faith. You do. To make it through, you have to have faith that it will all be okay. And what I'm going to do when it's finished, when we add the other stuff to it, I know a watched pot. It doesn't. It just doesn't boil when you're watching it for sure. Hi, Bev Smith. So if you're looking at your pot now, if you're baking with me, if you're just watching, that's great too. And if you're watching, it kind of looks like muddy, and you know, the water isn't clear at all, and that's fine. That's the way it should be. And I don't wash my raisins. No, I do not. And if you're one of those people, you just go ahead and do that. And the kind of raisins I'm using is the Thompson raisins. They're the best ones. You can make it with sultana raisins. You can make it with curtains. You really could. But I mean, okay, mine is now bubbling, okay? Hi, Ashley. Happy Easter. So it's a nice bubble going on there. So I'm going to turn it down. And I'm going to set the timer for 5 minutes. And it'll just continue bubbling. And it plumps up the raisins and makes it nice. Oh, I missed that, yeah. Yeah, isn't that something? Yes, who was that? Juanita Murphy, you said that? I booked Cecil, I'm 69 and Cecil is 71. So I was able to book his vaccine for April the 15th. So he's going for his, and hopefully very soon I will get mine as well. They'll open up 65 to 70. That's got a great boil on there now. There, we'll just leave that for the 5 minutes and just we can chat. Yeah, that's what Julian, I'm not sure. No, I never use flour. I always use cornstarch for the thickening, right? Yes, the raisin pie, I would say it tastes somewhat like butter tarts. I would think so. Yeah. Hi. Yes, Donna, I know. Donna Park, Cecil's niece, out there in Fort McMurray. Her father got that's Cecil's brother, her dad, and he was getting his on. I think it was on Thursday. And Donna, we booked Carmelita's as well, same day as Cecil, so she's going to have hers too. That's Cecil's sister. She's not on computer or internet or anything like that. But yeah, it's all happening. We're going to get there. Oh, you can book together as couples. No, we can't. No. Yes, Darlene, we're the similar age there. May 27th. Wow, don't you ever have to book far ahead? Oh, well. We'll get done. I know my nurse practitioner said at my last appointment was that definitely everybody in Nova Scotia should be done by, August or September. Anybody who wants to get it. And there are those who may choose to not get it. Well, thank you. Somebody said, didn't think I was 69. Have you not seen the wrinkles? Anyway, I've earned every one of those wrinkles, so I'm okay with that. Hi, Lori Philpott from Ottawa. And Lorraine, she's getting hers. Yes, Ashley, I know what the difference is between mincemeat and raisin pie. Raisin pie is just raisins and a little bit of cinnamon and cornstarch, just my recipe here. Mincemeat has meat in it, and I've made mincemeat. Mama made great mincemeat. So Ashley, I'll tell you exactly how you make mincemeat. First of all, you get this, you buy beef, similar to like stew meat. You boil that on the stove slow until it's nice and tender on a slow, a couple of hours on the stove. And then you have a meat grinder. I don't know what they would use nowadays. I guess they're food processors or whatever, but I have one of those old-fashioned meat grinders. You put the meat in the top and you turn the handle, and these threads of the meat come out. And you put it in a great big pot on the stove. Meanwhile, you're after cooking a whole bunch of apples until they're nice and soft, and you drain the apples and you put the apples in. Then you add molasses, and some people add suet or some shortening. You can add the suet is directly from pork suet or beef suet, I guess. And then you add all your spices. Then and some people add peel. Ugh, I hate peel. I don't like biting into peel. And it's a long process, and you simmer that like over an afternoon, and the meat is in it. So that's kind of a snippet of what mincemeat is. Ashley, hope you understand that. Okay. Green tomato mincemeat, I've heard of that too. Hello, Deborah Lougheed. Okay, I'm going to turn this down now so you can see this part. So you can see that the color that's there. You're going to add now what we mixed. You're going to add that in there. Now this part, you'll see it's kind of, I don't know if you can see that that's quite milky. I know I don't have great light, and it starts to thicken because of the cornstarch, but it'll almost become like translucent clear after only a couple of, maybe a minute or two. You kind of just get used to looking at it, and it's nice and shiny and glossy, and you have kind of a syrup going there. I would say, to me now, I don't know how long that's been, but I am saying that's done. So I'm going to turn the heat off, and I'm going to add my vanilla. And it's about a tablespoon of vanilla or a tablespoon of lemon juice, whatever you prefer. I just prefer the flavor of vanilla. And I'm going to add a tablespoon of butter. And I'm just going to mix that up until the butter is melted. And I'm going to stick that in the fridge. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. I love raisins. I know there's people out there that are not a fan of raisins, but there, it's all nice and perfect. So, can you see that? Okay, I'm going to put it in the fridge so that it'll cool down a little bit. You always have to make mincemeat pie for Christmas. Yeah. Oh, it smells so good. Okay. There we go. I have to get some paper towel. Now it's the fun part, the pastry. Really? Yeah, the mincemeat, tons of raisins and currants, definitely. That's the way Mama made it. I've tried the green tomato. It's not the same. It's not the same. If you were raised with real mincemeat, with the meat in it, no. I know you can buy mincemeat in cans, but it just doesn't have the same flavor. It doesn't have the same flavor. Everybody has their own favorite flavor, you know, what you were raised with, you know, whether it's biscuits, you know, your mother made them a certain way and that there's that flavor. Even though the ingredients can be the same, there's some little bit of a difference, right? I don't know. It's just never the same. Okay, we're going to have lots of time because this is going to be in the oven for 20 minutes or 25 minutes. So just hold on a second. I'm going to turn it down. And you know what? Sometimes pastry, I don't know if it's the atmosphere or what it is, and it just doesn't want to turn out. So I'm praying that it's not going to be one of those days for me. Holly. Okay, hold on a second. I'll turn this down. Don't have my blue bowl today. I'm going to make the pastry in this little bowl. All right. So in here, it's just very basic and simple recipe. 2 cups of flour, okay? I'm actually going to sift my flour. You don't have to, but we bought, we had a bag of flour, your regular great big 20-pound bag of flour in the car. And like I told you all, Brennan bought us the great big, whatever, 50-pound bag. But so we wanted to use the smaller bag first. And it had been in the car for a few days instead of putting it in here. And I found that the cold made it kind of lumpy. So I'm just going to put my 2 cups in here. And I do have a sifter, but I'm just going to use this. And I'm going to have a little bit more out on the side here. I should have used the sifter. I love the sound of the sifter too. But this will be fine. Just take a few seconds longer. Perfect. Okay, and to that you're going to add a teaspoon of salt. And I'm just going to mix that up. And to that, I'm going to add 2/3 cups of shortening. Usually I just cut it from the box, but I was telling you that Brennan brought me a ton of groceries for baking with, God love him. And we got the big tub of Crisco shortening. So you measure it out into a cup here. So 2/3 cups of shortening. Now I put a glass of water in the fridge with some water in it. Just hold on a second. I'll be laughing at myself, some of the things I say. I put a glass of water in the fridge with some water in it. Can you imagine? Anyway, don't mind me. Okay, so I'm going to use my hands. I'm going to mix this all up. Pastry blender can be used too. Anybody out there doesn't like to get their hands full of this? It is pouring down rain here now. So I am mixing this until it feels like it would almost come together if I packed it tight with my hands. But we don't want that. You want it to be, you know, kind of just like that, right? No big lumps, because you're going to add the water, the cold water. Can you see that? Okay, that's what it looks like. It's just ready. So the recipe says 5 or 6. I find 5 is probably just enough. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have a fork here. You're just going to bring it together. And it will be wet. You don't want it to be dry. And you don't want to handle it too much. Like this. Okay, that's ready. And you're going to bring it together. And like I say, it will be wet. That's good. Gosh, miss not having the running water. Okay. Now you can choose to roll yours out between 2 pieces of parchment paper if you like, or 2 pieces of saran wrap, or just a piece of parchment paper over the top part if you have it like a pastry sheet mat. Okay, so I'm going to cut this in half. Make 2 balls. Oh my God, somebody said, Ashley McKiser, you are a riot. I probably missed his conversation. He's a riot, he really is. I love my Ashley McIsaac. I don't know, I just like to get the cracks together because they could become cracks when you're rolling it out. All right, I have my pie plate here. Oh dear, I wonder what size this is. Not sure. Probably 8 or 9 inch, okay? So I'm going to sprinkle. There we go. And sprinkle some flour over the top as well. And there we go. I'm going to have this close by for the trip. All right. Okay. I do it one way, then I like lifting it up and knowing that it's not sticking on the bottom, because that's the trouble. If it starts sticking at the bottom, then you're going to have rips and things like that, and you don't want that. Now, when I get it to about this big, and this is what, that's about 10 inches there, I turn it down. Can you see that? Okay. Hope you can. And I'm actually going to sprinkle some underneath there. And then on the bottom as well. And you're going to I think that's big enough. That's about 12 inches. That should be about enough. All right. We're ready for the trip. Right here. Wow, we did it. That's the hardest part. And just kind of push it down into the corners like that. And we're not going to trim it just yet. I'm going to go get the filling right now. There, is that better? Okay. My filling in there. It's still quite warm, but that's fine. I forgot to tell you to preheat your oven, but hopefully you have the recipe in front of you. Mine is set for 425 because I cook mine at 425 for 20 minutes. But you can also, if you'd rather a lower temp, you can cook it at 400 for 30 minutes or 25 minutes. You determine the color of the crust that you like, okay? Oh, that smells amazing. Okay, we'll put that over. Now we're going to do this one. See those cracks I was talking about? They better go away. We don't want those. Hopefully that'll all come together. You just want to make sure that it's kind of in a circle, a good, nice circle. That's looking about right. Bring your pie over. Okay, I forgot to get a knife. Hold on. So now you're just gonna cut around using the edge of the pie plate as your guide. Perfect. And I just use a fork. Some people, you know, pinch it together, or they have one of those wheels that makes the decoration. So I'm just going to I press it down, and I keep my thumb on the tip of the fork too, so that sometimes the pastry wants to stick into the fork, and if you lift it up, it'll tear. So put your thumb over it and do that all the way around. And it seals in the juice from escaping out, and just sometimes that happens. Now I prick the top of the pie with a fork in any random order. Some people will, cut it when it's in half and make a nice design. I'm not that pretty at that. It just helps the air escape so that you don't have a domed pie crust. Okay? So it's into the oven at 425. In my oven, I like to use this, my oven at 425 for 20 minutes. There we go, folks. It's going to be good. Hands are somewhat devoid of dough. Okay, we're just gonna sit and we're gonna have a visit. Okay. Put my kettle on. I had to leave my curtains open because it's pretty dark in here if I close them. How is everybody doing? Yes, I was wondering if anybody used the leftover dough from the pie. You know what? I never did. I've never done that at all. I was thinking of you all the other day. I was making cinnamon rolls. And yes, the pastry mats, they're great, aren't they? Oh, I just love them. Okay. Oops. Oh, I missed that. You absolutely love something. I don't know what it was. I made it. I know. Aw, thank you, Paula. Mike and Mary, oh my God, that is too funny. Nun farts. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. I think you did. Anyway, I had a lot of things I was going to say, and now I'm forgetting everything. I have a couple of things I want to talk to you about, though. I'm going to put some music on here. I have my slow air music here. The first one is Jennifer McDonald's Waltz, and it's played by Andrea Beaton. I think you can hear that a little bit. Okay. And I want to say a very special hello to someone from British Columbia, and her name is Glenda Campbell. Now, there's another Glenda Campbell too, but this one is Glenda Campbell, who lives in Cranbrook, BC, formerly from the Antigonish area. And Glenda has been watching the show and catching up on old shows, and I know her twin sisters very well, Ellen and Eleanor. And my sister Bernice in Antigonish is best friends with Ellen and Eleanor, as probably you know, Glenda. If you know Ellen and Eleanor, you've got to know Bernice. She's always with them, and they always do stuff together, and I've had the pleasure of being in their company too. But I want to tell you, Glenda, that your sisters are really hoping that you're going to be able to make it home this summer after all this stuff is over, and we can enjoy one another's company again. So hi to you, Glenda Campbell in Cranbrook, BC, and I'm glad that you watched the show, and I hope you do get home to celebrate life with your sisters. And also the other Glenda Campbell from right here in Port Hood, my dear friend Glenda is in the hospital in Inverness again, and I know that it's been tough. It's been a real tough, last year for this Glenda Campbell, dealing with cancer and with all of the things that go with it. But Glenda tries to watch from the hospital every Sunday, and she's just a great follower, and she's also a great friend, and I just love her. So Glenda, I hope you are watching today as well, and hugs to you, and I hope that you are out again very soon and back home here in Port Hood, where you're much loved. And this past week, I have my reminders here because I have to have reminders. Kathy Mayhew. I don't know if Kathy's watching today, or she sometimes will watch on the replay, but Kathy Mayhew was the winner of the baking on Zoom with me, and we did that on Thursday night, and it was so fun. We made a meal, and her son joined her in the kitchen, and her daughter as well from Thunder Bay, and we had a two-way Zoom call and baking session, and it was just about 2 hours long, and we really had fun and sat down at the end, and it was done. So it was really, really nice, and thank you, Kathy, for being such a wonderful guest that I was able to share this with, and congratulations again. And she had a wonderful son, just who helped her in the kitchen as well. So that's wonderful. So again, I'm embarrassed on this next part. I do not use water between my two pie crusts. Never did. Ever did. Yeah. Anyway, back to the 20 bags of the winners. The only one who received a bag so far is Michelle Lecoyne, because I sent it up to Dartmouth by our daughter on that weekend. But the rest of you, I said that I was mailing them out, and I had them all in the box, had them all packed, all ready to go, took them to the post office. And just because of the seams and the straps and everything else, it was too wide, and each and every one was going to cost me over $20 to mail each one. And I just couldn't afford to do that. So I took the box back home. The box is still here with all of these parcels in it. And then we've discovered that our son Gordy has a vacuum sealer. So we dug that vacuum sealer up, and he didn't have a lot of the equipment, the bags to go with it. So we tried one bag and sucked all the air out, vacuum sealed it, and I took that one to the post office, and it went through with no problem. However, the problem is that I didn't have 20 bags or the roll of plastic to make further bags, knowing that they would work. So I had to, I went to Port Hawkesbury on Thursday. I think it was Thursday I went to Port Hawkesbury, and I got a big box off the roll. So people, I apologize utmostly that they haven't been mailed yet, and it's been 2 weeks, and I'm so sorry about that. But you can understand the difference between vacuum sealing them and mailing them at $20 some with Canada Post, and vacuum sealing them, it's like it goes as a letter, and it's like 3 something or 4 something, I forget. So it's a big difference, and I know you'll all understand that, and I want to thank you for that. So expect that maybe in another week and a half, by that time, everybody else should get theirs. And out of those 20, I have been in touch with 19 of you. Bertha Roberts from Quebec. Bertha Roberts from Quebec. You were one of the 20 winners. I have written you 3 times, one in the whole big group, 2 other private or single emails to you, and you wrote in between the second and the third and said, I heard somebody from Quebec won, did I win? I replied to that, and I have had no reply from you. Please check your junk folder, because my responses and my emails to you must be going in the junk folder, and you are not seeing that. So I really need you, Bertha Roberts, if you are watching today, or if you watch this on the replay, please email me your mailing address, because I have no way of sending anything to you unless I have your address. So I hope this shout out to you will work, because you're not getting my emails for whatever reason, but it must be going to junk mail. So that was a couple of things that I wanted to share with you. And a lot of people were enjoying last week's entertainment. We had, of course, the wonderful Morgan Tony and Mary Beth Carty and Bradley Murphy. They were wonderful, weren't they? The crash that happened. I have this crystal candy dish and a cover on it. And it got moved off my little coffee table over there, and I put it up on this cabinet here, but up on the top. It was way up on the top of that. And Mary Beth Carty was right beside it. That's where she was seated, and her tea was sitting on this little bar. It's a bar. Anyway, you know how the 3 of them were really loving, keeping time with their feet. What I didn't realize when we were taping it is that it was making the camera, bounce like that. So we'll be cognizant of that in the future so that that won't happen again. Because I could see that on the replay, and I know there were a lot of comments. People were so disappointed. Some people were disappointed with that shake. But I didn't notice that candy dish, as those bounces were happening on the floor, the candy dish was moving closer and closer and closer to the edge of the top, and it was the candy dish that fell down. It fell down into Mary Beth's teacup and all over the floor, all over the carpet, and smithereens. But anyway, what can you do? And I said, keep on playing. They kept on playing just like troopers. But yes, Tracy, the camera was just grooving to the music. And the candy dish was a gift from my uncle and his wife Frances, and it was a treasured item, but it's just an item, and that's the way it was, and what can you do? So anyway, I put my kettle on, and I'm going to have tea with you, and I have a piece of pie off the pie that I made on Wednesday, and I am going to put a little bit of ice cream on it, and I'm going to have a little bite, and share that with you with a cup of tea. So just hold on a second. Here's my pie. So good. It does look like mincemeat pie. I love my cups. I love my cups, my dishes. Oh, that's good tea. You know what? I didn't have any chocolate for Easter. Didn't buy any. If I had it, I'd eat it. But we're going over to Mitchell's for supper. I bet you there's going to be some chocolate there. we gave some chocolate to the kids. I'm just going to take a peek in the oven. Just hold on a second. There's just 3 minutes left and it's already nicely browned. So I want to tell you what we're going to be making next week, if I can find it. Thank you, Audrey. Hi, Martha Gillis. Love raisin pie too, I really do. I'm spoiling on my supper. So next week, I think we're gonna have entertainment next week, but I don't wanna just say who it is until we know for sure. I'm seeing the reflection in my glasses. The music, Heather, the music is a CD. That is called the Falcha CD. Falcha is Gaelic for welcome, and there's a whole bunch of Falcha CDs, a series of CDs, and this particular Falcha CD is my absolutely favorite. It's airs and waltzes is what it is. There are others that are, you know, jigs and reels and all of those things, but this one is just airs and waltzes, and I just love it. And you can get your own copy by going to the website, the Celtic Music Interpretive Center, Celtic Music Interpretive Center in Judic. They have a beautiful gift shop. They're open every Sunday afternoon, and I mean, they have their employees as well there during the week. There's my oven. But I'm sure you can buy it online because I think they produce it there. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go check my pie. See, it's nicely browned, and you can even look and see that it's definitely cooked on the bottom. There you go. I'm going to put it on the cooling rack. And I don't know about all of you, if you like that. I love raisin pie and apple pie served just warm, and it's so nice. So before we close it off here, I'm going to tell you what we're making next week. We're going to be making, and I apologize to all those who don't like raisins, but we're going to be making oatmeal raisin cookies. We're going to be making oatmeal raisin cookies, and so besides the obvious, you're going to need flour, baking powder, cinnamon, salt, baking soda, butter or margarine, brown sugar, white sugar, an egg, vanilla, a little bit of molasses, just a tablespoon of fancy molasses, and rolled oats. You're going to need rolled oats. And a cup of raisins, your choice of raisins. And, the little things that I like to have, like the parchment paper. Oh, Ashley, I love you. I wish you were home. You could come here and play on a Sunday afternoon. It would be so awesome. But anyway, you know what? You know what I'm going to say, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart, that I love you all. I love you all. If you're alone, I'm here. You can write me a little email, send me a little message. I'll answer you back. You're not alone. We'll get through this together. And we're friends. We're friends. And I think of you all week, and you all matter to me. You matter to me, and I love you, and I want you to love one another and spread your good cheer. And with this Easter season of renewal and hope and peace and love and happiness, put that joy in your heart and just be positive that it is going to change and we are all going to be okay. All right? I love you all. Bye-bye. See you next Sunday.